Hi, this is Bob Skilnick from Beer and More in Food. You can stop by my blog at www.beerandfood.wordpress.com. Here to just give you a preview of a couple of Anheuser-Busch beers that are coming out September 8th, going to be rolled out nationally. And the first one is the Michelob Pale Ale. This is a dry hop beer. It's not an overwhelmingly dry hop beer, but certainly Anheuser-Busch made a real good effort, I think, with this sort of a beer. Cascade hops, and it has your typical, citrusy, almost grapefruity flavor to it. And it's an extension of the Michelob brand, which I think is pretty appropriate. Michelob Pale Ale. I just wanted to give you just a little bit more of a close-up of the label. You might be able to see it. It's dry hopped with Cascade hops, and it's done in a English style pale ale. That's what Anheuser-Busch says, but with the Cascade hops, I'm not too sure if that's really true to form. But nonetheless, this is one of the bottles that you should start looking for. Okay, that was the pale ale. The second one, and this one I really did like, this was a Michelob Dunkel Weisse, a dark wheat beer, and I think it's sort of appropriate too. They're coming out on September 8th. It's a nice, I would almost think of it as a seasonal beer that sort of bridges the warmness of the summer with the wheat, and then the dark sort of brings you right into the cooler weather. A very great, good tasting beer. All malt, except of course for the wheat that's been added to it. And once again, this is an extension of the Michelob brand, which I think is very appropriate. This is a Dunkel Weisse, a dark wheat, and this one I really enjoyed. And once again, just to give you a little bit of a close-up of the label, as you can see, it's a dark wheat ale described by Anheuser-Busch. Good taste, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. If you want to learn more about all of the Michelob products, you can go to www.michelob.com. There are so many different beers. I wasn't aware of this until I did the research. Quite a lot of beers that are falling under, I guess you could call them, pseudo craft style beers, but they're putting them under the Michelob line, which is a great place to put a beer like that. Now, this is a beer that I actually had the opportunity of tasting in the early summer at St. Louis. At the time, Anheuser-Busch, I think they were working with 4 different yeast strains, and they were trying to play around with the formula to get it to the point where they were quite satisfied with it. This is Budweiser American Ale. And if you're wondering why it falls under the name of the Budweiser, well, just watch this.
But when you look at all the other beer styles, we really said, consumers are looking for more variety. There are a large group of consumers who want to experiment, who want to try more robust flavors. And we looked at saying, there's so much room in the beer industry, and that's obviously why we're all in it, because there's so many different flavors and so many different styles, that it would be great to really sort of take the Budweiser signature and develop a new ale that could become the quintessential American ale. So we're looking for something that is robust, that appeals to that beer consumer who really wants that perfect balance of maltiness, hoppiness. We're looking for something that may not be over the top on any one of those things, and we really think the Budweiser name really stands for balance. So Budweiser Ale was really created to appeal to those consumers who want new things that can then branch out into a more robust beer style.
I think this is a great beer. And for all you people out there who say, oh my God, it's Anheuser-Busch, and they don't make good products, blah, blah, blah. This is a beer that I think will really change the minds of a lot of people. Once again, I'd like to have this beer, just like that Dunkel Weisse. I'd love to have this as a draft product. I'll have to satisfy myself just with the bottle. But a fine tasting beer, once again, dry hopped. I can't remember exactly how many hops were used in the process, but I'll put a link on this blog entry that'll lead you back to a presentation that I attended at Anheuser-Bus that talked about this beer just a few months ago. This beer is going to be rolled out, I'm told, in October or so, so keep your eyes out for it. This really is a wonderful beer. So, we have, don't forget, the Michelob Dunkel Weisse. We have the Michelob Pale Ale. And we also have the Budweiser American Ale. And they're all really great beers, and I think you should give them a try. So the best way to satisfy your curiosity about what these beers taste like is to go out there, pick up a 6-pack, pick up a 12-pack, bring some friends over, and give the beers a try. And honestly, you'll be pleasantly surprised. They're not real complicated. They're well balanced. The word that I always can think of is quaffable. It's the kind of beer that has a much bolder characteristic than anything you're used to from Anheuser-Bus, but it has sort of the ability or the capability of making it quaffable. You know, you can drink more than one. That's probably the best way to say it. You could drink more than two, you could drink whatever, but just be careful. This beer will probably be out in early October. Just to give you another closer look. I'd like to get my hands on this beer on tap, and if somebody would hook it up with a nitrogen charge, it would really be a beer, I think, that would knock your socks off. Ale, the Pale Ale from Michelob, and the Dunkel Weisse. Remember, the the Michelobs will be coming out September 8th nationally, and the Budweiser American Ale will be coming out in October. So be sure to look for them. I think you're going to like them. Thanks. I'm Bob Skilnick, and I'll see you again. Thank you.